The short answer, ignore it. Okay. You're looking for, does it have iron? Does it have potassium? Does it have sulfur? Does it have some of these other kinds of things? That's the true important piece.
But the oxide is just as a way to balance the magnesium as a metal.
Right.
So once it enters the soil and it's subject to hydrolysis, the magnesium should become available.
When we deal with fertilizer labels, we're oftentimes dealing with guaranteed minimum analyses, right? What's legally allowed to be expressed on that label that's guaranteed to be in that bag. And through, all these chemical labels sort of fall under certain umbrellas. And so fertilizers fall under different things that might be similar to other industries. And so the oxides are just a way of expressing oftentimes a certain type of element that's in there. The plant doesn't really use the oxides. The plant uses those elements. When we learn about soil fertility, we learn about things like potassium, or we learn about nitrogen, we learn about phosphorus or iron or some of these other kinds of things. The oxide is a way that sometimes things are expressed based on a weight basis. So the short answer, ignore it. Okay. You're looking for, does it have iron? Does it have potassium? Does it have sulfur? Does it have some of these other kinds of things? That's the true important piece. But backing up, if they're doing a deep dive on the micronutrient piece, okay, and we have a situation that oftentimes happens in the Midwest, and it's called summer-induced iron chlorosis, where basically in the late summer we will get these chlorotic conditions that do typically happen with Kentucky bluegrass, and so oftentimes that's an iron deficiency that usually people like Mike or Greg would not be as likely to see. Now, if you have a choice between using a liquid foliar applied iron product or a granular iron product, the liquids tend to alleviate those conditions a little bit better than the granular product. So, that has a little bit to do with whether it's a chelated iron or an iron oxide, and what you're potentially going to use to get the results that you're looking for.
Dr. Bigelow, would you agree that to me, the most important factor of these micro questions is typically going to be pH? And again, outside of sand-based soils, removing clippings, et cetera, in a native soil, if you keep pH where it should be, most of these deficiencies would be very unusual.
Correct, with the exception of, this is another, it depends. And I had to learn this lesson coming from the East Coast into those Midwest soils that were, glacial till, that, typically you take a soil test, and if there's not a lot of organic matter in there in year 7, 8, 8, 2, I think there's a very strong reason why the Scott's Miracle-Gro company, has Scott's Turf Builder with iron. They're in Ohio, and they were seeing these lawns that, they were benefiting from some sort of an iron application.